Hello everyone, and thank you for visiting our channel. Today, we'll be delving into the lives of talented actors who left us too soon, often without us even realizing it. From Hollywood icons to rising stars, these individuals made significant contributions to the world of entertainment before their untimely passing. Before we begin, we ask for your support. If this video or their legacy has touched your life, please like it as a sign of respect. Thank you. Now let's begin.
Upon my death, I would like to pass the land on to you, Dale, for all the help you've given me.
Jonathan Joss rose to prominence for his memorable performance as Chief Ken Hotate on NBC's cherished sitcom Parks and Recreation, where he appeared from 2011 to 2015. With heartfelt humor and cultural depth, he gave a dignified voice to Native American identity on screen. His distinct voice work as John Redcorn in the long-running animated series King of the Hill further cemented his place in television history, leaving a lasting impression on both audiences and peers. On June 1, 2025, Joss's life came to a heartbreaking end following a violent altercation at his residence in San Antonio, Texas. He was 59. According to official reports, Sigfredo Alvarez Ceja was apprehended and formally charged in connection with the incident. Authorities clarified that no current findings support claims of bias as a motive. His passing drew deep sorrow from colleagues. Nick Offerman shared, "We're just heartbroken," while Chris Pratt described him as such a kind soul, gone too soon. Just days earlier, Joss had spoken candidly at a public event. "I take a breath, I want to breathe," reflecting a resilient spirit despite recent personal loss. Though his financial estate was estimated at $1 million, Jonathan's true wealth lay in the meaningful roles he played and the quiet strength he brought to each one. To continue honoring lives like his, please consider subscribing.
Trying to get an appeal, and I got to get an attorney to get me an appeal.
Pamela Bach, beloved for her role as Kay Morgan on the iconic television series Baywatch, passed away on March 5, 2025, at the age of 62. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner later confirmed her passing, noting the presence of prescription medication in her system. According to the report, there were no signs of foul play. Her daughter, after receiving no reply to calls and messages, arrived at Pamela's home and found her unresponsive, an experience that would forever change the lives of those closest to her. Born on October 16, 1963 in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Pamela's screen presence captured hearts in the 1990s, not only through Baywatch, but also in The Young and the Restless and appearances on Knight Rider. Her charm and composure left a lasting mark on American television. She was formerly married to actor David Hasselhoff, with whom she raised two daughters, Haley and Taylor. In their final phone call, Pamela softly told her daughter, "I love you very much." Haley later expressed her grief, writing, "My heart is shattered, but I'm choosing to be strong for you." At the time of her passing, Pamela's net worth was estimated at $1.5 million, a modest measure of a life filled with depth, resilience, and quiet devotion.
Now, they knew who I was because they were coming to take pictures with me. Like, "Oprah, we want the picture with you."
Breaking news. How did she turn pain into power? The untold journey behind Oprah's billions. She didn't inherit a fortune. She didn't have famous parents or a lucky break. And yet Oprah Winfrey built a legacy that towers above industries and generations. At the heart of it all is a woman who rose not because the world opened doors for her, but because she knocked them down with grace, grit, and unstoppable belief in her purpose. What made Oprah unforgettable wasn't just her wealth or success, though both are remarkable. It was how she used her platform, The Oprah Winfrey Show, to speak directly to people's pain, dreams, and struggles, creating a space where the unheard felt seen. Over the course of 25 years, her voice reached millions, and her show redefined the role of daytime television. From groundbreaking interviews to personal revelations, Oprah became a trusted friend in living rooms across America and far beyond. And to think, it all began in a one-room shack in Mississippi. Born in 1954 to a teenage mother, Oprah's early years were shaped by poverty so intense that she wore dresses made from old potato sacks. She lived without running water, cared for by her grandmother who taught her to read before most children could write their names. But childhood soon turned from poor to perilous. At just 9 years old, Oprah experienced repeated abuse, traumas she would carry for decades. By 14, she became pregnant, and her baby tragically died shortly after birth. It was a life shadowed by grief and silence, yet the embers of resilience never dimmed. Everything changed when she moved in with her father, Vernon Winfrey, in Nashville. Under his strict but supportive roof, Oprah began to flourish. She excelled in school, found her voice through public speaking, and discovered the confidence that would eventually guide her to global influence. By 17, she landed a part-time job on the radio. By 19, she was anchoring the evening news, the first black woman to do so in Nashville. But she knew news wasn't her final destination. Her emotional insight craved a different kind of platform. That platform arrived in the form of a modest local talk show. When Oprah stepped into that role in Baltimore, it was like watching someone return to the place they were born to be. She wasn't performing, she was connecting, and that connection caught fire. In 1984, she took over a faltering morning show in Chicago. Within months, it was the #1 show in the city. And 2 years later, The Oprah Winfrey Show debuted nationally. What followed was one of the most powerful media empires built by a woman, and by a black woman no less, in modern history. Oprah didn't just host a show, she reshaped American conversation. She owned her content, launched Harpo Productions, founded her own magazine, and later her own television network. Her investments weren't just financial, they were personal, purposeful, and pioneering. Of course, the journey wasn't without stumbles. When she launched the Oprah Winfrey Network in 2011, expectations were sky high. But the reality was humbling. Ratings were underwhelming, critics were unforgiving, and Oprah herself admitted the experience nearly broke her. But in true Oprah fashion, she regrouped, reimagined, and rebuilt, eventually transforming OWN into a profitable platform true to her vision. Through it all, Oprah's ability to turn vulnerability into connection became her superpower. She spoke candidly about her struggles with weight, body image, and health. She brought menopause, a topic still shrouded in stigma, into the public conversation. Even a serious stomach illness in 2024 that required hospitalization became a moment of reflection she chose to share with honesty and clarity. Today, Oprah's net worth stands at an estimated $4 billion. A large portion of that wealth comes from smart, long-term investments, like her stake in Weight Watchers, which earned her $75 million in one day. She also signed lucrative deals with Apple and continues to receive royalties from her past projects. But if you ask Oprah, she would likely measure her legacy not in dollars, but in impact. That impact is perhaps most evident in her work with young women. In 2007, she opened the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for girls in South Africa, offering not just education, but mentorship and hope. Many of these girls refer to her as Mom O, and she continues to play an active role in their lives. She has also donated hundreds of millions of dollars through her charitable foundation, including major contributions to the Smithsonian's African American History Museum and disaster relief efforts like the Maui wildfires in 2023. Oprah's personal life has always reflected her own terms. She never married, though her decades-long relationship with Stedman Graham has remained one of quiet loyalty and respect. Her friendship with Gayle King, spanning over 40 years, stands as a model of unwavering sisterhood. And though she has no biological children, Oprah has become a maternal figure to many, mentoring, supporting, and lifting others with care and intention. Through every stage of her journey, from trauma to triumph, from silence to influence, Oprah has remained a woman deeply rooted in purpose. Her story isn't just about wealth or fame. It's about rebuilding from nothing, again and again, with empathy as her compass and storytelling as her gift. Now, we turn the moment to you. Has Oprah's story helped you through your own? Did her show ever speak to something you thought no one else could understand? If so, we invite you to share in the comments below. And if you believe in stories that uplift and legacies that heal, please subscribe to our channel. Oprah's voice may have begun in the margins, but her message belongs to all of us now.
Damn nurse in Korea. I tried to help her achieve that.
Loretta Swit, who passed away at the age of 87 in late May 2025, was widely admired for her trailblazing role in the legendary series MASH. Her death, confirmed by longtime publicist Harlan Bowl, occurred at her residence in New York and is believed to have been from natural causes. Though she had no children, her impact on the entertainment industry and those who knew her was profound and lasting. Swit became a cultural icon through her portrayal of Major Margaret Houlihan, known affectionately as Hot Lips. Over the show's 11-year run, she appeared in nearly every episode, receiving 10 Emmy nominations and winning twice. Alan Alda once said she didn't just play the character, she redefined it. With thoughtful determination, Loretta helped reshape Houlihan from a flat stereotype into a powerful, compassionate figure who resonated with viewers across generations. Beyond television, Loretta led a life guided by independence and principle. She once stated she felt no need to marry again after her divorce, choosing instead to nurture a life filled with creativity, purpose, and close friendships. Her estate was valued at approximately $4 million at the time of her passing, a modest figure compared to the immense influence she left behind. James Lowe, the voice behind one of the most influential tracks of the 1960s psychedelic movement, passed away on June 2, 2025, at the age of 82. His death, confirmed by family members, was due to natural causes. In their tribute, they remembered him as a man who left behind a legacy of sound, love, and boundless creativity, always guided by his wife of 62 years, Pamela. Lowe became a cultural figure through the Electric Prunes, the band he fronted beginning in 1965. Their breakout single, I Had Too Much to Dream, Last Night, climbed to number 11 on the US charts, and later achieved cult fame through its inclusion in the seminal garage rock compilation Nuggets. While the group's lifespan was brief, their impact on underground rock endured for decades. After leaving music in the 1970s, Lowe later returned in the 90s, revitalized by a renewed love for recording and performing. He also lent his talents behind the scenes, engineering early records by Sparks and Todd Rundgren's Nas. In later years, he transitioned into television, constantly evolving his craft. James Lowe's career was a vivid tapestry of experimentation, setbacks, and revival. Proof that true artistry never fades, it only transforms.
Wonderful Benjamin Bratt. It's called Coco. It will be released in November.
Renee Victor, known for bringing warmth and fire to the screen, passed away on May 31, 2025, at age 86, after battling lymphoma. Her passing, confirmed by her agent, occurred at home in Sherman Oaks, California, with her loving family at her side. Her daughters described her as deeply loved and honored by fans worldwide. Renee's most iconic performance came in 2017 when she voiced the no-nonsense yet tender Abuelita in Coco, the Oscar-winning Disney Pixar film that became a global sensation. Her voice helped shape one of the most beloved matriarchs in modern animation. Years earlier, she had already charmed television audiences as Lupita in Weeds, a role that spanned 7 seasons and showcased her wit and charisma. Born in Texas, Renee's artistic path began in music and dance, performing with her husband as Ray and Renee. Reinventing herself as an actress in the 1980s, she went on to appear in shows like ER, Vita, and With Love, and films such as The Apostle and The Doctor. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at $2 million. Renee Victor's legacy lives on, through her laughter, her voice, and her fearless embrace of life's many stages.
We went into the studio to listen to the lines being recorded, and as we're
Alf Clausen, the musical genius who defined the sound of The Simpsons for nearly 3 decades, passed away peacefully on May 29, 2025, at his home in Los Angeles. He was 84. His daughter, Karin Clausen, confirmed his death, noting he had lived with progressive supranuclear palsy for 8 years, a diagnosis that quietly underscored his later years with courage and grace. Clausen's impact on television was extraordinary. From 1990 to 2017, he scored more than 560 episodes of The Simpsons, weaving jazz, Broadway flair, and emotional depth into its animated world. He earned 21 Emmy nominations for his work on the series, winning twice, and left behind unforgettable songs like We Put the Spring in Springfield. Born in Minnesota and raised in North Dakota, Clausen's path to success began with a passion for composition and a leap of faith into the music industry. After establishing himself with moonlighting and ALF, he was initially hesitant to join The Simpsons, but ultimately embraced it, calling it one of the richest creative experiences of his life. Despite industry setbacks late in his career, Clausen's artistry endured. His legacy lives on not only through his music, but in the emotional resonance it continues to bring to audiences worldwide.
Joe, do you know what I have in my locket?
It's hair.
Valerie Mahaffey, the Emmy-winning actress, celebrated for her subtle brilliance and enduring presence on screen, passed away on May 30, 2025, after a long battle with cancer. She was 71. The news was confirmed by her publicist, Jillian Roscoe. Her husband, actor Joseph Kell, called her the love of my life and remembered her as one of the most cherished talents of her generation. Mahaffey's remarkable 5-decade career was defined by performances that quietly captivated. Her Emmy-winning turn as Eve in Northern Exposure in 1992 brought her national recognition. She later delivered memorable roles in series like Desperate Housewives, Young Sheldon, and Dead to Me, and graced the stage in celebrated Broadway and off-Broadway productions. Raised across multiple continents, Valerie brought worldly depth to every character she played. In her later years, she earned critical acclaim once more in the film French Exit, receiving an Independent Spirit Award nomination. Her work reflected not only artistry, but also resilience. At the time of her death, Mahaffey's net worth was estimated at $1 million, a reflection of a career grounded in craft rather than celebrity. Her legacy remains a quiet force in television and theater, steadfast, sincere, and deeply human.
Amazing artist, one of the most prolific actors here.
Tragically, Peter Kwong passed away in his sleep on May 29, 2025, at the age of 73, marking the end of a luminous career in both film and television. Best remembered for his electrifying role as Rain in the 1986 cult classic Big Trouble in Little China, Kwong captivated audiences with his blend of martial arts prowess and magnetic screen presence. A native of California, Kwong began acting in the mid-1970s, earning early credits on shows like Cagney and Lacey and 227. His talent and versatility saw him appear in nearly 90 productions, including memorable roles in The Golden Child, Lethal Weapon, 2016, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Off-screen, Kwong was admired for his principled stance on issues of race and representation in Hollywood. In 2016, he joined fellow artists in publicly criticizing offensive portrayals of Asians at the Oscars, a testament to his dedication to cultural dignity. His passing was confirmed by his agent and mourned by peers who described him as a great guy and a true gentleman. While no information on his personal estate has been released, his contributions to both the screen and the cause of representation remain profound and inspiring.
To the cathedral, and he backed off.
Acclaimed documentarian Marcel Aufhuls, whose fearless lens earned him an Academy Award for Hotel Terminus, passed away peacefully at his home in southern France at the age of 97. His grandson, Andreas Benjamin Seifert, confirmed the news. Aufhuls' uncompromising approach to truth-telling, particularly through his masterwork The Sorrow and the Pity, redefined the role of historical documentary in cinema. Born in Frankfurt on November 1, 1927, Marcel was the son of revered director Max Aufhuls. After fleeing Nazi Germany with his family, he found refuge in America, where his commitment to justice and historical inquiry took root. Over a storied career that spanned continents and crises, he delivered searing investigations of complicity, memory, and war through films like A Sense of Loss and The Memory of Justice. Though widely celebrated with awards from Cannes, Berlin, and the Academy, Aufhuls prioritized moral clarity over fame. His work drew on over a century of historical wounds, driven by a personal legacy of exile and resistance. With an estimated fortune of $10 million, he invested in conscience over commerce. His legacy is more than film. It is a mirror held up to humanity's most challenging truths.
I knew what the script I was excited about. I thought this is going to be perfect. And 3 days after that announcement, I saw Deadpool 1.
Breaking news. He fought claws, cancer, and critics, and still came out singing The Astonishing Journey of Hugh Jackman. You may know him as Wolverine, slicing through villains with adamantium claws. Or maybe you remember him best as Jean Valjean, singing through pain and redemption on the grandest stage. But behind every performance, behind the spotlight, behind the Broadway cheers and Hollywood box office records, lies a quieter, deeper story. A story of grit, grace, and an unrelenting spirit. Before we share the full arc of Hugh Jackman's extraordinary life, from stardom to scars and back, we invite you to reflect. Which Hugh Jackman moment stayed with you the most? Was it a film, a song, or something real he said that made you feel less alone? Leave us your thoughts in the comments. Your voice is part of this story too. Born in Sydney, Australia in 1968, Hugh Jackman wasn't raised under studio lights or silver spoons. His childhood was marked by separation. His parents divorced when he was 8, and his mother left for the UK, leaving Hugh to be raised by his father. The absence carved a wound, but also lit a quiet fire. That fire first flickered during school plays, where young Hugh found a kind of sanctuary on stage. It wasn't just acting, it was an escape, and eventually, a calling. He studied communications in college, but stumbled into a drama course that altered the course of his life. What began as a class credit became a life path. He trained at the Actors Centre in Sydney, and before long landed his first professional role in the Australian TV series Corelli. Audiences noticed, so did producers, but it wasn't until he crossed the ocean that the world would take notice. In 1998, Hugh stunned London's West End with his performance in Oklahoma. With charm, power, and vulnerability, he lit up the stage, and casting directors in Hollywood took note. By 2000, he was offered a role that would define a generation, Wolverine in X-Men. It was a gamble. He was unknown in America. The role was originally meant for Russell Crowe, who passed it on to Hugh with a recommendation. And what a decision that turned out to be. Wolverine wasn't just a comic book role, it became a cultural icon. Over the next 17 years, Jackman portrayed the character across 9 films, earning global recognition and over $100 million in total earnings from the franchise. His transformation into a brooding, morally conflicted anti-hero redefined what superhero performances could be, grounded in pain, depth, and soul. But Hugh was never one to stay in one box. While fans lined up for each X-Men installment, he returned to his first love, the stage. In 2012, he starred in Les Misérables as Jean Valjean, a role so emotionally raw and physically taxing that it earned him an Oscar nomination for Best Actor. Just a few years later, he sang and danced his way into hearts again as P.T. Barnum in The Greatest Showman, a film that began as an underdog and exploded into a phenomenon, earning $435 million worldwide. Hugh reportedly earned around $10 million up front, with additional bonuses from its box office success. By 2025, his net worth is estimated at $100 million, built not just on acting talent, but on a career of relentless reinvention. And yet, the most defining battle of Hugh Jackman's life happened off-screen. In 2013, while preparing for a role, a makeup artist noticed a small mark on his nose. It seemed innocuous, but it wasn't. He was diagnosed with basal cell carcinoma, a common but potentially disfiguring form of skin cancer. It wasn't a one-time scare. Over the next 10 years, Hugh would undergo at least 6 surgeries to remove cancerous growths, mostly from his face. The physical scars were visible, but the emotional weight, living with a disease that could return at any time, was heavier. Most celebrities would have hidden this from view, but Hugh chose transparency. He shared his bandaged face on social media, urged fans to wear sunscreen, and openly discussed the anxiety that comes with recurring illness. His vulnerability became strength, not just for himself, but for millions who saw themselves in his fear and found courage in his example. Behind the scenes, his greatest anchor was his wife, Deborah Lee Furness, whom he married in 1996. Their bond became a model of quiet strength in an industry known for its turbulence. Through surgeries, career pivots, and public scrutiny, Deborah remained his safe place, his grounding force. While his personal life inspired, his professional life never slowed. In 2022, he returned to Broadway in The Music Man, a massive production that extended its run due to public demand. The show sold out night after night, a testament to his magnetism. He reprised Wolverine once more for Deadpool 3 in 2024, reuniting with friend Ryan Reynolds. Though his salary wasn't disclosed, based on his previous roles, it's believed he earned at least 8 figures for his return. What makes Hugh Jackman unforgettable isn't just the films, or the awards, or even the muscles. It's how he kept evolving. He didn't just survive Hollywood, he elevated it. With every comeback, every note sung, every story shared about cancer or fear or failure, he reminded us what true resilience looks like. In a world full of celebrity noise, Hugh's legacy rings clear and true. Live honestly, love deeply, fight bravely, and always find your way back to joy. His story tells us that no battle, be it cancer, criticism, or childhood wounds, has to define who we become. We define that with every choice we make. And so we ask you, how has Hugh Jackman's story touched your own? What role, what moment, what message of his stays with you? Leave your reflections in the comments below. Let's celebrate not just the star, but the human behind it. And if you believe in honoring stories that matter, stories that remind us how to rise again, please subscribe to our channel. Because voices like Hugh Jackman's remind us that in every challenge, there is still a song waiting to be sung.